In 7 minutes, we are going to answer the following questions. What is the truth about the maritime dispute between Lebanon and Israel? What is the new Lebanese boundary line that gives back an area of 1,430 kilometers square to Lebanon? Why was the half compromise not agreed upon? What would the Lebanese government do in case the negotiations process is stopped? In 2009, Lebanon delimited its maritime boundaries with the concerned parties, with occupied Palestine from the south, with Syria from the north, and with Cyprus from the west. In 2010, Lebanon deposited with the UN Secretary-General the geographic coordinates of the Lebanese southern maritime boundary, which is the line shown in yellow on this map extending from point 18 till point 23. That boundary line was a provisional line, since not all the technical and legal data was available at that time. In 2011, Israel delimited its northern maritime boundary with Lebanon by the line extending from point 31 till point 1, shown in red on this map. By that, Israel encroached an area of 860 kilometers square from the Lebanese maritime area without any legal basis. So Israel considered that parts of the blocks 8 and 9 belong to its maritime area. Consequently, Israel is obstructing the petroleum activities in blocks 8 and 9. In 2011, the Lebanese government asked the UK Hydrographic Office (UKHO) to prepare a study about the Lebanese maritime boundaries. This study proposed to Lebanon two boundary lines located south of the point 23. The first line, shown in red, gives Lebanon an additional area of 300 square kilometers, and the second line, shown in black, gives Lebanon an additional area of about 1,430 square kilometers. It is crucial to mention that Lebanon reserved its right in the Decree No. 6433, dated October 1, 2011, to amend its maritime boundary in case more precise data becomes available and in light of future negotiations with the concerned parties. As a result of the UKHO report in 2011, after more precise data became available, and after consulting legal experts in maritime law, the Lebanese Armed Forces (LAF) prepared a technical and legal study showing that Lebanon has additional maritime area south of the point 23. This study, prepared by the Lebanese Armed Forces, showed that Lebanon has an area of 1,430 kilometers square, in addition to the so-called 860 kilometers square disputed area. By that, most of the Block 72 and half of the Karish field become inside of the Lebanese maritime area. As a result, it becomes clear that the Lebanese boundary line, ending by point 29, was delimited according to international law, while the Israeli line ending by point 1 does not have any legal basis. Thereby, the 860 kilometers square, claimed to be the disputed area, becomes from the past and does not exist anymore. Lebanon did not deposit with the UN Secretary-General the geographic coordinates of the new line, which is the line ending by point 29, but will do so in the future according to Article 3 of the Decree 6433, which states that Lebanon can amend and review these coordinates in light of future negotiations with the concerned parties. If Lebanon ever informed the UN Secretary-General of its new boundary line, that would have been the first amendment, in contrast with the allegation of the Israeli Minister of Energy, who said that Lebanon changed its boundary line 7 times. What proves this is the Lebanese claim shown on the Lebanese official website in the UN Division for Ocean Affairs and the Law of the Sea, which can be accessed through this link. Now, what is the half line, and is it a fair compromise? What are the measures that can be taken by the Lebanese government in case the negotiations process is stopped? In 2012, U.S. Ambassador Frederick Hoff proposed a line, which is the orange line shown on this map, ending by point H, where he suggested dividing the area of 860 square kilometers located between the point 1 and the point 23. This division gave Lebanon an area of 490 square kilometers and gave Israel an area of 370 square kilometers. The half line ending by point H follows the strict equidistant line method. This method took into account the full effect of a small rock called Tikhilit. It should also be noted that the legal argument for this method is very weak and is rarely used by most countries or by international courts. On the other hand, Lebanon delimited its boundary line using the equidistance special circumstances method, which gives the green line ending by point 29. This method took zero effect at the Tikhilit rock, and has strong legal basis and is widely used among states and by international courts. By that, the new disputed area becomes equal to 1800 square kilometers and is located between the half line ending by point H, which is a correction to the Israeli line, and the Lebanese boundary line ending by point 29. Here, a main question should be asked. Is it possible for Lebanon to accept the half line, which, in its delimitation process, took full effect to a small rock called Tikhilit, which has the area of an apartment and cannot even be seen on the scale of this map, and by that lose an area of 1800 kilometers square, which is equal to the fifth of the Lebanese land area? If the negotiations process is stopped, it is obvious for Lebanon, according to Articles 16 and 75 of the UNCLOS, to deposit with the UN Secretary-General the new geographical coordinates of the new boundary line ending by point 29. This will legally prevent the oil and gas companies from continuing any activity in Block 72 and in the Karish field. The 2,290 square kilometers that contain significant amounts of oil and gas belong to the Lebanese people and to the future generations, so we should do our best to protect it. Please spread this fact to all of those who believe in justice, in order to explain the Lebanese position in this regard.